Hi guys, and welcome to this upload for you guys today. Thank you ever so much for tuning in. If you are new to this very platform, you know what to do. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you'll be in and updated anytime when I do any uploads for you guys on Open Mic Night. I'm your host as always, Gavin Osfletcher. Always gives you honesty towards professional wrestling. And first and foremost, I want to thank you ever so much. You guys are making this part of your day. And let alone, I can't thank you enough because 20 of you now hit that subscribe button. That's a massive achievement for me that I never thought I would achieve here on Open Mic Night. Now, I just want to say to everyone of you guys that is actually tuned in today, obviously I'm going to be talking about Dynamite. And this is the Fallout show that is pretty much going to be an interesting thing to see materialize. Because how interesting this show was, but I just want to point this out. They started off the show with like Will Ospreay and Hangman Adam Page. That promo work to promote this match, to show how much they are like for like, even though they're from different backgrounds, a part of the world, they're so similar and symmetrical to one another. One's from the United States, he's got a son that is doing the same grind as Will Ospreay, whilst he was doing the grind here in the United Kingdom. You know, and he says, I want it a little bit more than you do. And then Hangman and Page is pretty much saying, I want it a little more than you do. And I'm like, oh, why you made the tournament final look so good? You know, you're golden. This is why I say, and I'll say this clear to you now. This is why I want wrestlers to have free reign on the mic. You know, yes, sometimes it can go a bit ski-whiff, etc. like that. But end of the day, between these two, I'm glad these two are in the final. I'm glad these two are going to face off each other. And I tell you one thing. Will Ospreay has elevated Hangman Adam Page. He's got under his skin. Hangman Adam Page has elevated Will Ospreay. Got under his skin. To be honest, I know I want Will Ospreay to win. Deep down, obviously, fellow Brit. Not being biased or anything. Hands up. Hands up. I'm guilty. Okay. I'm not being biased, but I just want to point this out to you guys. Still, my fingers look like I've stuck it up my arse, but I digress. I want to be honest with you guys. I really do not know which way this is going to go. Even though Will Ospreay wants the championship, to bring it home, to show he can enter arena here in the United Kingdom as a champion, what he's worked hard for to get himself noticed on the American soil. Even though he wants to bring it home. You know, and the thing is, even though you got the likes of All In July, even though he's winning possibly winning the title this coming Sunday, I'm intrigued what they're going to do with him if he loses. Will he get a second chance before them? Will he have a second chance at Summer Blockbuster so he can win the title there? So, there's so many twists and turns this could actually materialise that way. You know, because I'm really intrigued to see what they're going to do with Hangman Adam Page. What they're going to do with him if he loses. What they're going to do with Will Ospreay if he loses. I regret doing that video, yes, hands up. I feel guilty once again. I regret doing that bloody video that I says Will Ospreay doesn't need a title to prove who he is. You know, that's a spoiler if you've not seen that video. I feel bad because even Will Ospreay's seen that, and I can tell one thing. Tell you this much for free. Right? I think he's watched that video and he's used it as inspiration. I'm not even lying. I could, if I had my phone not on charge, I could even show you a screenshot. He's watched that on the plane to go home to here in the United Kingdom. You know, and I feel bad putting that video out. I'm going to keep it on the channel anyway, but he's one of those larger than life characters that doesn't need a belt. Sometimes the belt needs to elevate the wrestler, but the wrestler occasionally elevates the belt. And Will Ospreay is one of them. Technically doesn't need it, but I know he needs it, if you know what I mean. And I felt raw emotion between them both. I had a little tear for Will Ospreay. You know, little tear. No sarcastic. No bullshit here. That I had a little tear for Will Ospreay with his promo because I felt his passion. You know, that's what I love about AEW. You know, and it's unlocked the likes of one of the best promo works that we've seen in a long time from the likes of one of the best promo works we've seen in a long time from Adam Page. Since the likes when he was doing it to the likes of Swerve Strickland last year. Apart from burning down his house. That storyline. I think everyone that I feel like Hangman Adam Page's work from, I would say, with the long builded storyline and the jeopardy towards obviously the Swerve Strickland thing and everything, I think that's actually bought I think this is the best run that I've seen him in, to be honest, in AEW. Yes, he started off great to a point, as if I recall when he was champion, I didn't like that run of him. But I feel like this run of him, the Renaissance, or however you pronounce it, the rebirth of Hangman Adam Page, I like this run of him. You know, it's the best run I've seen him in since being one of the founding four pillars of the AEW. You got the likes of Sammy Guevara, Chris Jericho. Yeah, there's more than four pillars, but if you know what I mean. The young talent-wise, Hangman Adam Page is one of those young talent that basically made himself a household name anyway, but when you literally think about it in the bigger spectrum, I'm literally blown away with what he's been doing recently. You know, it's literally... It's just wide open because at the end of the day, it's like... This redemption of him, you know. You know, for even literally having Will Ospreay swearing on camera, that's just golden in itself. Then we literally had a 6-way tag team match after that. Could we follow that? And what a weird mismatch this was. Young Bucks, John Moxley versus Swerve Strickland and Hobbs. I love that tag match. It was a mismatch, but it worked. You know? The thing is, though, the people may criticise John Moxley as champion. When is he going to lose that championship? This guy turns up every single week, even though if he doesn't defend his title, he turns up every week. Not like when we've literally had in another company called Roman Reigns. I'll be honest with you. Roman Reigns didn't turn up every week when he had that long title run. John Moxley, on the other hand, even though he doesn't defend that title, he's still keeping himself relevant. That's what I like about John Moxley being our champion. But then we got literally like Swerve Strickland, Shane Strickland, whatever you want to class him as. I find it interesting how they managed to turn him face to a point. I know he's a tweener, but he's a face. And I did love that tag team match. You know, I was really impressed with it. Then we actually have that segment. We literally had the Hurt Syndicate how to put it, sounding the signature of MJF for him to join. It's like all kosher, all pucker, everything all a go. That both solicitors have checked him over, and then when you've literally got the likes of the Sons of the Texas Deliverer, right? Which is Dustin Reynolds, Goldust, or whatever you want to class him as, and Sammy Guevara. You know, you got champion versus champions this coming Sunday, and he's warned him how much of a snake that MJF is. I'm waiting for the point when it comes to the contract signing. Yeah, fair enough, for all it's signed and done, they've signed it. I'm waiting for the build up towards MVP facing MJF. I've got a feeling that's going to happen. I've got a feeling there's going to be something, like with obviously the contract signing. I feel like with the contracts, I feel like they've been switched. You know, because they've literally gone through it saying, yeah, everything, both lawyers and everything. They've switched the briefcase. I'm waiting for that to be materialized into the storyline, possibly. You know, but I really find it interesting with the likes of Bobby Lashley, Charlton Benjamin, MJF. It just blows my mind. So many twists. This is what I love about these sort of storylines. What they put in place with AEW, they literally keep so many twists and turns going forward on that. Yes, it could have been a lot better this segment, but I'm waiting for how it all pans out. I feel like if MJF takes full control from MVP towards Hurt Syndicate, or is he going to be facing MVP at some point with the contract signing? Tell me your thoughts down below. Please do. You know, because at the end of the day, this is where it plays tricks on your mind as a wrestling fan. Then you look at the likes of the next match we actually had on the card. Anthony Bowens versus Ricochet. I gotta say this is literally brave of AEW to rebrand Anthony Bowens. You know, the Acclaim run was good. You know, this is a bold move for them to make him as a singles wrestler. Even though at the end of the match we literally had a teaser towards what we're going to literally see at Double or Nothing with the stretch match with Ricochet and Mark Briscoe. And literally, like I said not that long ago, when they faced each other, I feel like this was an underrated match. It went under the radar when it was on the likes of Dynamite between fans, because I feel like it was overlooked, but I felt like it literally tested him. It literally tested what Ricochet can do. You know, I know he's great and all that lot, but it's really going to test him. Let alone, I'm intrigued what the rest are going to do with this stretcher match. You know, they can't call it ambulance match, but they've sort of done it as an ambulance match, because if I recall rightly, that I've seen other stretch matches. I'm not sure if it's just WWE. I think I've seen it in other companies like TNA in the past, where they had to go over the line with the stretcher, not into an ambulance. So, but saying that, I just want to say this: good showing by Anthony Bowens. It's interesting to see how that goes. Then we hear from the likes of, to obviously with the head-to-head with Mercedes Moné, aka Sasha Banks, and Jamie Hayter. They literally have a massive blowout because towards the dig, what Jamie Hayter says, you seem like slightly a bit lighter all of a sudden, because she lost the strong New Japan Pro Wrestling strong style, women's strong style title. That struck a nerve. But I like the way they built this between them two, because they made it feel like they can't stand each other. Yes, it went blow for blow, but it was bloody brilliant. You know, and that's just me being honest with you. You know, because that's what I find very interesting when I look at the bigger spectrum with this. What they can actually do, what they're actually doing, and so on. But then we actually had the main event for this evening. Mina Shirakawa, I can never pronounce the same. I'll never... I struggled with it. Versus Julia Hart. I do like Julia Hart. Yes, is somewhat... She's not used as much as when she was in House of Black. But that ceased to exist. Obviously, they tried to rebrand. I think it was Hounds of Black or whatever it was. But then obviously the likes of Buddy Murphy, Brody King needs a push towards the title maybe at some point. But you look at the likes of Buddy Murphy that is currently written out injured, which he is injured, which kind of sucks when he's got the momentum going forward. But anyway, I thought this was actually a decent women's match. It showed potential. It started to get going late on in the match. But I was trying to focus so much on this match. But when I think of the likes of Toni Storm on commentary, oh my god, you can't help but laugh. I felt bad because I felt like I was literally, when I was watching it, I thought I was laughing at the women. And that's me being honest, it felt like I was laughing at the women. Just the stuff that Toni Storm comes out with, and she gets away with it because it's TV 14, but I'm glad she left WWE. I'm glad she literally left it because she's shown her full potential. She's helping put over women that doesn't get put over that much. Yes, she's facing Mina this coming Sunday, which I'm really intrigued about. I really can't wait to at some point because Mariah May, obviously, she's disappeared for a while. But I'm hoping she technically comes out at Double or Nothing, because if she comes out at Double or Nothing, that will stop all the rumours. That will stop people talking about, oh, the Mariah May is going to WWE, etc., etc., etc. I'm sick of seeing reports of it. I'm sick of people having debates about it. I'm not being funny. When I look at the likes of Mariah May, yeah, she's a fantastic talent. But what can she do in the likes of WWE, what they've already have got in the first place? You can't have too many eggs in one basket, and that's as proper sexist, I know, but still. That you can't have too many good things in one go. You know? Because the thing is with Mariah May, that I'm really, really surprised that WWE fans want her. The people that are reporting her that she's going WWE. I'm really surprised at this because end of the day, AEW made her a household name and leave her the hell alone. You know, because I feel like she'd be lost in the shuffle if she goes to WWE. Because like I've already said, what has WWE hasn't got already that Mariah May has to offer? At least one thing with Mariah May, when she's in AEW, she can be herself. You know, you're not going to get the same Mariah May that we know and love and respect in AEW. You're going to have a cut, copy and paste sort of scenario of that. And they'll probably give her another name change. You know, I've already technically talked about this with Nick on my WWE NXT Europe upload. Please check that out. Please do. Because at the end of the day, I love co-hosting with Nick. Because I feel like at the moment I feel like he brings out the best in me. You know, if we want to discuss, or I'm surprised my mic still works after that recording. So please check that out. Please do. And that's what I mean. Stop speculating she's going to WWE. If it happens, it happens. But I've never known in my life since supporting AEW, yes, we've had a load of people that leaves AEW. That's fine, I can accept that. But I've not seen a woman talked about so much between fans that don't watch the product, to fans talked about the product, to fans... it just blows my mind. To the point where people are reporting it. I've never seen such an over woman that's been produced by AEW to be talked about going WWE. I don't recall seeing that ever happening before in my whole entire fandom of watching AEW. But it just intrigues me where they get this idea from. But if she ends up coming out of Double or Nothing, whilst that match is actually happening, I wouldn't mind a three-way match with them two. Them three, sorry. The ones that said Toni Storm, Mina, and Mariah May. Hands down. But then one thing that I find interesting, and then we actually have the sort of teaser towards Anarchy of Rules. The thing is, the one thing that I'm really intrigued about, it's how they've actually built this. They've sort of teased it already early with the Anarchy in the Arena rules. They brawled all at the end of the show, the participants. Obviously, Kenny Omega's the missing member, which everyone was. I would have waited till, I would say, to the pay-per-view for him to be confirmed that missing member. Not, or is he the missing member? I'm getting really confused. Because I look at the way they've done this, they've overrun a bit of time. I don't know if it's on TBS or it was shown on ITV4 when they show that. I think Friday night, this episode. I don't think that overrun bit, you might have seen it on TBS. Tell me in the comments below. Yes, you that's watching this. But I didn't mind that sort of build towards it, you know. But the thing is, what I literally was heard on commentary before it ended, they went, this ain't anarchy in the arena, this is going to be anarchy in the desert. What are you going to do? Do it outside? Obviously, yes, I know it's in Texas before anyone said that, but is it going to be outside that match? It just made you think, because how it is, if that makes any sense to you. But anyway, overall, what we got from this is an interesting build towards what was it, the best go home show for a pay-per-view. It made the women look strong. It made Will Ospreay look strong, don't get me wrong. But it made the women look strong. From the main event to obviously between Jamie Hayter and Mercedes Moné, to with the way Willow just attacks John Moxley. That was sort of a longevity of build between them two. If I recall rightly, the internet went rife about John Moxley attacking Willow. So it just proves how much a long builded storyline this has technically been. You know, and that was a few months ago when he did that. So overall, it was a good go home show, but the women look strong, which I do like. You know, and I'm really looking forward to Double or Nothing. Tell me your thoughts. Are you looking forward to Double or Nothing? But anyway, till next time, guys. You know what to do. Hit that subscribe button and join obviously the Open Mic Night family that has already done it. 20 of you done it already. Thank you. You know, and check out all my other uploads. Please do. Until next time, catch you guys soon.